Okay, so welcome to this tutorial on Raydium on trading for developers. Okay, but first, what is Raydium? Raydium is a decentralized exchange DEX built on the Solana blockchain, functioning as an automated market maker for acronym AMM that enables fast, low-cost token swaps, liquidity provision, and yield earning. So you can log liquidity and so you can provide liquidity and earn Raydium tokens. Okay, so according to DeFi Llama, at current time, the total value locked on Raydium is more than 2 billions, and as you can see, is increasing again. Important fact, all-time cumulative trading volume is near to 1 trillion. Also interesting to say that at the beginning, Raydium used OpenBook for creating liquidity pools and fetching by creating a market ID, but now is not a mandatory requirement. What is OpenBook? OpenBook was an open source protocol once called Serum. OpenBook provides a central limit order book, just like the centralized exchanges, and Solana dexes like Raydium and Orca used it to enable token swaps. So the idea is to think as an order board, a book of orders with buy and sell orders to improve swap experience. Okay, so now let's see some core features on Raydium. Raydium is a key building block on the Solana world. It works as an automated market maker, as a decentralized exchange, is lightning fast for trades. Anyone can create liquidity pools or provide liquidity. You have yield opportunities. You can farm and earn Ray tokens, and it has an hybrid design, so combines AMM pools with order book system via OpenBook for better efficiency, like mixing the best of two worlds. Farming on Raydium. The idea is that you provide liquidity and you earn from the trading fees, and also you earn Raydium tokens. That is called farming, that you farm the official token and also you earn the traditional trading fees for any swap if you are providing liquidity to a custom pool. Okay, so for developers, this is the main API, the main SDK, the GitHub repo. So you can use the API via TypeScript. Also, the SDK has a demo version, so you can see the most common operations with the API. This is the Raydium's official repo, and this is a client for building UI front end for your Raydium applications. Okay, so top examples for Raydium SDK version 2 on Solana. The idea is to use the method load to connect and use a wallet. You can initialize the SDK, as we say, with Raydium load, and then for example, you can fetch pool by means, so you can provide the two tokens and get the pool ID, okay, and get the pool info. Token swapping. You also can use the API SDK to create a compute amount out for a swap, and you can create the swap transaction, and then you sign and you send it, and then you sign and then you send it. That is ideal for quick trades like converting SOL to USDC in one go. Adding liquidity deposit. You can use Raydium.cpmm deposit to you add then the pool keys and the amount of each token, and with this you can deposit and you can provide to a CPMM, that is a constant product market maker. Also, you can remove liquidity or withdraw with Raydium CPMM withdraw, and you will pass the pool keys and other values like the LP amount, and then you can withdraw with the Raydium SDK. You can also create a market pool. You use Raydium.cpmm create pool, and then you provide the arguments, that is the base mint, this object that is a lot bigger, and you provide the quote mint, the initial price. You can also open a position with this method. You will provide the pool ID, price mean, minimum price, maximum price, and base amount. Okay, so let's continue with other core features on Raydium. It's important to say that at current time, 119,000 tokens have been launched on Launch Lab. With a 0.21% graduation. Okay, so you need a lot of SOL traded and locked on the liquidity pool, so it can migrate and it can count as graduated. Okay, important to say that high DEX volume, 50 to 60% of all DEX trading on Solana is happening on Raydium. Is almost rising. Is almost 1 trillion in trades. So this is why it's important to learn to trade on Raydium. Okay, according to DeFi Llama, the top DEXs on Solana for DEX volume, the number one is Raydium, with almost 1 billion traded on the last 24 hours. On the last 30 days, 28 billions, and its close competitors are Orca and Meteora. Meteora is rising very hard. That Meteora is owned by Jupiter, and also PumpSwap is also rising. According to DeFi Llama, on protocol rankings, Jito is the one that has the most total value lock on this date, on the day recording this video. Also, Jupiter has 2.88 billion, and Raydium is also one of the top DApps with more total value lock. Also, Meteora is growing. It has the double at current time than Orca. Okay, so now let's explain Jupiter. That is an important competitor. Jupiter is a DEX aggregator that combines multiple Solana DEXs to find the best token swap routes for users. Automatically chooses optimal paths across DEXs to minimize slippage and get better prices. Liquidity aggregation pools liquidity from sources like Raydium, Orca, and Meteora for deeper market and efficient trades, so you get the most for your money. Limit orders allow setting specific buy and sell prices that executed only when they are met. Enables trading future contracts without expiration dates using GLP for liquidity, and token swaps quick low-cost exchanges between any supported tokens with minimal fees. Okay, so now let's see some concepts. AMM stands for Automated Market Maker. Algorithmic trading pools using formulas like constant product for price discovery without order books. Liquidity pools is where you deposit, providers earn fees proportional to their share. Concentrated liquidity CLMM is an advanced AMM where liquidity is focused in specific price ranges for better efficiency and yields, inspired by Uniswap version 3. Important to say that Raydium has a permissionless design. Anyone can create pools, add liquidity, or launch tokens without central approval, powered by Solana's scalability. Top functionalities on Raydium: token swaps. You can exchange between tokens using AMMs. Liquidity provision. Deposit tokens into pools to earn trading fees and yields. Yield farming. You can lock liquidity and earn additional trade tokens. Pool creation. Permissionless setup of new token pools or project bootstraps. Advanced trading. Supports concentrated liquidity for optimized positions and reduced price impact. Okay, so now let's see some repositories of Raydium, official repositories that are written on Rust, and they are used to interact via cross-program invocations with CLMM pools. You can, for example, with this automated market maker, you can init and swap into pools, deposit, withdraw assets. With this constant product swap Rust project on GitHub, you can deploy pools on constant product based liquidity pools. And for this CLMM, that stands for Concentrated Liquidity Market Makers, you can do cross-program invocation and build advanced DeFi apps for yield optimization. Also important to note that these repos are for client side, so the main API is this one. So you can install it via Yarn, init with Solana connection, and you can do swap, pool management, fetch tokens, create pool, farm, and manage accounts. And with this demo, you have the top demos for the API. You have a lot of scripts that you can copy and paste to start making swaps, creating pools, adding liquidity, removing liquidity, etc. And finally, with this repository, you can build the UI for doing swaps, creating charts for the custom pools, use buttons and avatars, swap features to build front-end user-facing DEX interactions. Okay, so as we stated, this is the main API for interacting with all the programs from Raydium. So the first you need to do is you yarn add or npm install Raydium-io and the Raydium SDK version 2. Then you will use a method for loading, Raydium.load, with your connection and wallet details, and then you can get token list, you can fetch pool by ID, fetch farm info by ID, and a lot more. Okay, why use this API? It makes coding easier, so you can use some top used operations on mainnet data for pools and farms quickly, and you don't need to deploy a custom smart contract. You can use some client logic for most common operations on Raydium. Understanding impermanent loss in crypto. Impermanent loss is one of the most important concepts to grasp when providing liquidity to a decentralized exchange DEX. It's the difference in value between depositing your tokens in a liquidity pool versus simply holding them in your wallet. The loss isn't realized until you withdraw your funds, and it can be offset by trading fees. If the pool has a lot of trading, it can earn a lot of fees, so even if you have some impermanent loss, so big movement of prices can be offset, as we say, by trading fees. Okay, so now let's check some core concepts on DeFi. What's a liquidity pool? It's a pool containing a pair of two different tokens that allows people trade between these two tokens instantly. Liquidity provider is you, a person who deposits an equal value of both tokens into a liquidity pool. By doing this, you provide liquidity and help the exchange work. Trading fees. In return for providing your tokens, you earn a small percentage of the fees from every trade that happens in your pool. This is your primary incentive and profit source. Automated market maker AMM, the robot or algorithm that manages the pool. It uses a mathematical formula, x times y is equal k, to keep the value of both tokens in the pool balanced. It automatically adjusts token prices as people trade. Price divergence. This is the root cause of impermanent loss. It happens when the market price of one token in the pair goes up or down significantly compared to the other token. The loss scenario. When price diverges, the AMM must rebalance the pool. To do this, it sells the token that is rising in value and buys the one that is falling. As the LP, this leaves you with more of the less valuable token and less of the more valuable token that you started with. Hold comparison. Impermanent loss is calculated by comparing the value of your assets inside the pool versus the value they would have had if you had just held them in your wallet hodl. If holding would have been more profitable, you have an impermanent loss. Why impermanent? Impermanent because if the token prices return to the same ratio they had when you deposited them, then the loss disappears. Also, the trading fees you earn from the time can often be enough to cancel out the loss, resulting in a net profit. Arbitrage traders. These are traders who ensure the pool's prices stay in sync with the wider market. If the price in the pool is cheaper than on other exchanges, they buy from the pool, which raises the price and sell elsewhere for a profit. The main risk is impermanent loss. The biggest risk for liquidity providers. If the price of one token changes dramatically compared to the other, the value of your share in the pool might be less than if you had simply held the two tokens in your own wallet. It's a potential unrealized loss. Raydium top liquidity pool types. CLMM, Concentrated Liquidity Market Maker, or CLMM pools. These are liquidity pools that are very futuristic, very new, and they work focusing on a specific price range for max efficiency. Liquidity pool types. CPMM, Constant Product Market Maker or CPMM pools, they go for the token launches and volatile assets using the constant product formula for full range liquidity, flexible fees from 0.25% to 4%, and they support token 2022, make them ideal for memes and new SPLs. They power 98% graduation rates on platforms like Let's Bonk, handling 20% of volume from memes. Raydium top liquidity pool types, AMM v4 pools, legacy standard AMM version 4 pools, battle tested hybrids that once shared liquidity with order books, now pure AMM with fixed 0.25% fees. AMM version 4 pools on Raydium no longer run OpenBook, formerly Serum, while Raydium's legacy AMM version 4 pools were previously integrated with OpenBook's Central Limit Order Book (CLOB) to improve liquidity and pricing. They now function as traditional AMMs. Liquidity pool explanation. When you add to a pool, you will receive liquidity provider tokens, LP tokens. For example, if a user deposited Ray and USDC into a pool, you will receive Ray USD Raydium LP tokens. These tokens represent a proportional share of the pool assets, allowing a user to reclaim their funds at any point. Every time a user swaps Raydium at USDC, a 0.25% fee is taken on the trade. 0.22% of that trade goes back to the LP pool. 0.03% of that goes to buy back Raydium. Previously, if there were 100 Raydium liquidity pool token representing 100 USDC and 100 Ray, each token will be 1 USDC, 1 Ray. If one user trades 10 USDC for 10 Ray and another user traded 10 Ray for 10 USDC, then there will be more USDC tokens and more Raydium tokens. This means each LP token will be worth 1.0022 USDC and also the same value for Ray now when it is now withdrawn. Raydium Launch Lab explained. What it is an easy token launcher. Launch Lab is a free no-code tool for Solana that lets anyone create and launch new tokens super fast. It's like magic button for starting your own crypto coin with options for simple just send it mode or custom setups, helping you build liquidity from day one. How it works, bonding curve magic. You set up a token and a target amount of SOL, like 85 SOL in easy mode. People buy your token on the bonding curve that raises the price as more buy in. Once the target is hit, all the funds move to a Raydium pool for a real trading and liquidity gets locked or burned to keep things fair. Why it is always on? Benefits for all. Creators launch in minutes, earn trading fees forever, and get visibility. Traders snag early tokens with no bosses in the way and share in community rewards. 50% of fees go to a pool. It's a win-win for quick, fair token starts on Solana. Okay, so this is an image of the Raydium Launchpad. So you can connect your wallet, you can create tokens and trade newly released tokens. This is, according to DeFi Llama, the Launch Lab DEX volume. So what you see, and we are seeing at current time all-time highs. So the total DEX volume for the last 30 days is 3 billion. So it's worth considering this tool. Also, its close competitor PumpSwap, it has a DEX volume of 43 billions and for the last 30 days 7 billion. As you can see, it's consolidating, maybe going down, maybe up. Not a financial advice. I will do your own research. Okay, so thanks for seeing this video and we continue on the next video on how to create code for interacting with Raydium.